Dear audience, Assalamu alaikum. A gracious welcome to you all on the second round of first inter-school English debate competition organized by Bangladesh Television Chattogram Center. Debate is a powerful tool for creating an innovative and a logical mind. It helps develop the personality of people. In addition, a student can increase his confidence as well as the scope of his knowledge through actively participating in debate. Dear audience, today the selected motion of the debate competition is Cultural backwardness hinders the progress of economy. The team for the motion belongs to CDA Public School and College, Chattogram. The team against the motion belongs to Presidency International School, Chattogram. Speakers for the motion are Sadia Nasreen, Fabliha Rumaisa, Amira Nasir. Speakers against the motion are Oshmi Mohajon, Tanjim Zawad Chaudhuri, Emanul Haq. The honorable adjudicators of this session are S.M. Muktaqin, Principal Officer, Dhaka Bank Limited; Ishrat Jahan, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, University of Chittagong; Ridwan Alam Adnan, former President, Southern University Debating Society and Director, Arcline. The topics on which our honorable judges are going to assign marks in the constructive round are Presentation 5, Language and Pronunciation 10, Presentation of Theory and Information 15, Argumentation and Rebuttal 10. The topics on which marks will be awarded in the rebuttal round are Presentation 5, Language and Pronunciation 5, Argumentation and Rebuttal 20. Dear viewers, now we are going to introduce our honorable moderator of today's program who will conduct the entire competition and announce the results at the end. The honorable moderator of today's competition is Sadat Zaman Khan, Chairman, Department of English Language and Literature, Premier University. Now, I would humbly request you, sir, to come up on this stage and take your seat. Before we start the debate, let me inform you about the order and time allocation of each debater. Each debater will get 5 minutes to present his speech. An alarm bell will ring on 4th minute and final bell will ring on 5th minute. In the rebuttal round, both the team leaders will get 2 minutes each. An alarm bell will ring on 1.5 minute and final bell will ring on the 2nd minute. Dear viewers, this round of our debate competition will be posted on facebook.com/PTV Chattogram and on www.youtube.com/@PTV Chattogram. Now, I most humbly request the honorable moderator to preside over this competition and start the debate.
It's a pleasure to be here once again in the first inter-school English debate competition 2023. Today's topic, as announced, is cultural backwardness hinders the progress of economy, which is a very important and a very timely issue. And for the motion, the school that's going to present their argument is CDA Public School and College, and Presidency International School will speak against the motion. Since the name of the debaters are early announced, I'm not going to repeat those. So without much ado, I'm straightway going into the action. For the motion, the first speaker from CDA Public School and College, Sadia Nasreen, will put up her argument. Sadia Nasreen.
I walk slowly, but I never walk backward, Abraham Lincoln said. Thank you, Honorable Moderator, for giving me the floor to speak. Today, the science topic for our speech is Cultural backwardness hinders the progress of economy. For actual and factual reasons, we are strongly in favor of the topic. Honorable Moderator, I have divided the whole topic into 5 parts, which are cultural, backwardness, hinders, progress, and economy. Honorable Moderator, what does culture means? Culture has been called the way of life for an entire society, as it includes codes of manners, dress, language, religions, and rituals. Then comes backwardness. Backwardness is a lack of progress by a person or a group to some perceived cultural norms of advancement. Cultural backwardness can be defined as the cultural norms, practices, and beliefs that hinders economic growth, either by limiting access to resources or by impeding the adoption of new technologies or practices. Honorable Moderator, there are some basic characteristics of cultural backwardness. They are an extremely low level of literacy, an extremely low percentage of children in school, absence of a written script connected to a literary language, existence of social vestiges like operations of omen, racial hostility, nomadism, and religious fanaticism, and then an extremely low level of national cadres. Honorable Moderator, cultural backwardness is not letting the growth of technology. If the growth of technology is obstructed, then communication will be difficult, and a country with having not good communication will have a poor economy. Honorable Moderator, then comes hinders. It means burden to make slow or difficulty progress of. Then comes progress. Progress is the process of gradually improving. Honorable Moderator, the last part, economy. The process or system by which goods and services are produced, sold, and bought in a country or region is called economy. Honorable Moderator, we are not saying that cultural backwardness is the only reason which is hindering the progress of economy. We are saying that cultural backwardness is a problem which is hindering the progress of economy, and on that basis, today I will stand some main points, which are 1. Some backwarded cultures creates restrictions on education and technology, which essentially hinders the development or economic development of the nation. 2. Some cultural stereotypes discriminate between gender and treat people with disabilities as insignificant and useless, because of which a large segment of populations cannot contribute to the economy. 3. Some backwarded cultures support superstitions, fundamentalisms, and wild policies, due to which the people of those nations lag behind economically due to their inability to adapt the reality and the modern world. Honorable Moderator, early marriage, one of the part of backwarded culture which has stopped education of many girls. As a result, many girls cannot contribute to the economy. Many countries are not letting the growth of use of giant e-commerce for maintaining their ancient culture. The culture of some countries is in the state of not using modern methods, technologies, or machines, which is toward the rear. The stereotype culture having gender inequality affects the GDP rate, as there is no equal pay for women employees. Women are often paid less than men, and their hard work is completely not valued. The social model of disability says that disability is caused by the way society is organized. Stereotyping, stigma, and discrimination challenges people with disabilities faces every day. Much of the disabled communities faces exclusions from part of society other people take for granted. Honorable Moderator, stereotypes influence how people without disabilities react to people with disabilities, and people with disabilities often do not have access to public spaces because of their backwarded culture and often cannot participate in economic activities. Honorable Moderator, today I want to throw a question to my opposite team. When many women and disabled people cannot contribute to the economy due to their backwarded culture, then can you show any other reasons which is not letting them to contribute in the economy? I hope that they will answer it. Honorable Moderator, again, superstitions reflect people's backwardness. Believing in superstitions and blind beliefs reflect backward thinking and lack of scientific outlook in a person's life. People who are superstitious lag behind to contribute to the economy, as they believe that supernatural forces are more powerful than human institutions. Superstitious persons spend a lot of money for doing many kinds of superstitious activity. As a result, huge amount of money is wasted. This type of superstitious culture is not acceptable or is not reliable, and by using this type of culture, we cannot progress our economy. Culture can influence how people construct values, language, convictions, frameworks, and comprehensions of themselves, their identity as an individual and as a part of nation. If culture, the way of leading a life, is backwarded, then it will definitely hinder the progress of economy. Thank you, Honorable Moderator. Thank you, everyone.
Now, Asmi Mahajan from Presidency International School will come up to put up her argument against the motion.
Today's motion is cultural backwardness hinders the progress of economy, and our team is going against. Honorable moderator and fellow judges, before moving into my speech, I would like to define today's topic again. First of all, culture. Culture is the beliefs, superstitions, and heritage that the people of a country has been following for a long time. And cultural backwardness refers to the society, community, or country that are perceived as lagging behind in terms of culture, social, or intellectual development compared to more modern and progressive society. It implies a lack of exposure or adaptation to newer ideas or being open to other cultures. Whereas economical development refers to the improvement of a nation's economic well-being, including factors such as increased economy, improved living standards, involving the growth of industries, businesses, and infrastructure, leading to a higher production. Here, talking about cultural backwardness hindering the progress of economy, we strongly disagree with the motion. Honorable moderator, today we are going to prove that cultural backwardness does not provide any kind of hindrance to the economical progress, and also we are going to prove that in some cases, honorable moderator, in some cases, cultural backwardness can also be a backup can also act as a backup to the economical progress of the country, honorable moderator. Honorable moderator, these things are two different worlds. Cultural backwardness and economy, they are completely different. They have no correlation in them, and that's the metric of today's debate, honorable moderator. Honorable moderator, as I said, it's different. And honorable moderator, culture enriches the fabric of our society. We are shaped by our histories, traditions, and belief, each contributing to a unique tapestry of human experiences. Our culture, our heritage gives us a sense of identity and fosters a bond among communities. Again, culture and economical progress is not the same thing. Honorable moderator, let us see China, honorable moderator. China is a country lacking in cultural development. Most of the people there doesn't even know how to speak English. They still use their own chopsticks to eat their food. They believe in their own religion. They have their own culture. They have their own superstitions. But still, they are ranked as the second most highest GDP country. Now, how can we say that cultural backwardness is hindering the progress of economy with such a big example, honorable moderator? The main source of economical progress is the country's market, honorable moderator. The market we are showing, the market we are presenting to the upper world, honorable moderator. The human capital, technological innovations, and infrastructure developments are essential for a country's economical growth. My team's going to explain more about this. Okay, now even if we see a case where the country is really culturally developed but does not have a market, then how will the country actually survive? That's going to be the country that's going to fall behind in economy, honorable moderator. Honorable moderator. Now, nextly, big countries are now investing in countries like Egypt, Kenya, Ivory Coast, the African nations, where African nations are believed to be uncivilized, or the rules they follow are called as unhuman sometimes even. Now American countries, for example, America, the big countries are investing in them. Why, honorable moderator? Because they have the resources, honorable moderator. They have the market. The market is the most important thing that's affecting the economical progress. So now next, honorable moderator. Now what we are seeing nowadays is that the countries that are underdeveloped, and they're using that underdeveloped power for their economical growth. How, honorable moderator? Let us see India and the Arab nations. India is one of the most underdeveloped cultures. They don't let other cultures to enter their culture, and that's what's attracting the other countries. People from other countries are coming in India just to see their cultures, just to see their heritage, and that's how they're actually gaining an income. That's a powerful source of income for them. Then also, if we see Saudi Arabia, they're famous for Hajj and Umrah, which is one of the greatest source of income in the country, honorable moderator. This factors is either improving rather than hindering the country's economy, honorable moderator. Here I would like to end my speech, honorable moderator. My teammates are going to brief more on the topic and rebut the opponent's side. Our team has more factual arguments. So we think that we should win today's debate. Thank you, honorable moderator.
Now, the second speaker, Fabliha Rumaisa Ira, will come to put up her argument for the motion.
Culture is the identity and pride of a nation until culture itself is ruining the economic aspect of the nation. Today we are here talking about those exclusionary and unacceptable cultures that are destroying our economy. Honorable Moderator, thank you for giving me the floor to speak. Today's topic is cultural backwardness hinders the progress of economy. For obvious reasons, we are in favor of it. Honorable Moderator, culture is an important part of our country's history, but we need to understand the difference between good and bad. What is the point of a culture that hinders the development of the country? Honorable Moderator, at first I would like to repeat our standpoints because the opposition seems to have not understood it. Now, our first standpoint is about the restrictions on education and technology. The second standpoint is about discriminations between genders and disabled people. And the third and final one is about superstitions, fundamentalism, and wild policies. Now, I will explain everything clearly. Honorable Moderator, one of the largest part of our culture is superstitions. Some superstitions actually hinder the progress of education, which is a key factor in economic development. For instance, many superstitious beliefs in Ghana discourages parents to send their children to school. They believe that it may bring bad luck. This kind of culture results in less educated workforce, which can limit economic growth. Another cultural barrier to economic development is the lack of gender equality. Even today, in 21st century, women are still excluded from so many economic opportunities and are subject to discrimination and many gender-based violence. In our own country, Bangladesh, it is very common. Many women around us don't get to decide their own future. If right now we ask some women, married women around us, 5 out of the 10 women will say that they were married off by their families and didn't get to pursue their career because apparently it's their culture. This kind of culture can impede economic growth by limiting the pool of available talent and undermining social cohesion. Another horrible culture present in this world right now is thinking that disability is a curse. Once a disability had been associated with wickedness, witchcraft, or taboo. Presently, there have been cases of family breakups due to the birth of a disabled child. The association of disability and darkness in African cultures has contributed significantly to the discrimination of people with disabilities. This discrimination is exhibited in access to opportunities such as education and employment. An estimated 1.3 billion people in this world right now are significantly disabled. This represents literally 16% population of the world. If all these people actually got the opportunity to live a normal life and contribute to the world's economy, we would be at least 5% more economically developed than what we are right now. Honorable Moderator, where backwarded culture has slowed down the economic growth, modern culture has increased it. As an example, I want to talk about Bhutan. Bhutan is a country that resisted the uses of technology for decades, but lately outside influence has taken hold of technology for decades. But lately, outside influence has taken hold of Bhutan's people. As soon as they started moving to a different direction from their backwarded culture, they have achieved great economic development. Bhutan has evolved from the medium EGDI to an advanced level EGDI group. It even moved up to 115th position from 126th position among the 193 UN members. Honorable Moderator, our opposition is claiming that cultural backwardness does not hinder the progress of the country. But the thing is, after all the examples we have given, it's impossible to prove that. Their points aren't exactly valid. In conclusion, I'm completely against my opposition because it's very clear that they have not understood the topic properly. Today, we are here to talk about how cultural backwardness affects our economy. We aren't here to decide if other things affect it too or how it helps the economy. Today isn't about those. Therefore, I stand by the facts that I have already stated. Thank you, Honorable Moderator, and thank you all the judges.
Now, I would like to call upon Tanzim Zawad Chaudhry will speak against the motion on the same topic.
Thank you, Honorable Moderator, for giving me the floor. Honorable Moderator, today's debate topic is culture backwardness hinders the progress of the economy. Honorable Moderator, what we have got from our opposite team here today, they haven't yet to show us the relationship between the culture and the economy. They have failed to show us yet. Our moderator, they have kept talking about superstitions. The people follow this superstition, that's why the economy is not growing, and so on and so forth. Our moderator, but they fail to realize that the fact that the biggest superstition followers are China, the countries such as China, Japan, India. While if you look at their economy, it is actually booming. They are actually growing. So this actually shows us that superstitions isn't actually related with the economy. Our moderator, they are taking one bit of the things, the superstition, they completely relating with the other thing, the economy. They are and they came up here and talked about gender equality, child marriage. Our moderator, these are actually social problems. These are not actually social problems, and this should not actually hamper the growth of the economy anyway. Our moderator, these are not these are not cultural problem. And this does not have quite a relationship with the economy. Honorable moderator, they have come up here and talked about the fact that they are not giving the disabled people enough chances to participate in the to take part in the economy or the racism and so on and so forth. And moderator, if they fail to realize the fact that the most open culturally country, America, where racism is there, and if you look at China, where racism is 10 times more, right? And there, the China is also booming. So it doesn't really matter where disabled or racism, these are not actually quite related with the economy, whether the economy should boom or whether the economy should fall down. Our moderator, they're completely going away from the today's topic. Our moderator, if you look at here today, this culture backwardness, what they're talking about the fact that countries should be open, culturally open. But our moderator, they fail to realize these culturally backward countries, the culturally backward countries for the mainly the developing countries, right? It's a very big source of income, and they fail to realize that, because if you look at this, the thing is that if you look at India, right, India is not actually a culturally open country. Rather, it's a culturally closed country. They do not allow other countries' culture to affect their own culture. And if you see them, people are become interested in the India's culture, how the people are there, how the people are eating, what is the food there. Our moderator, this culture, this makes the culture an attraction. And what they are saying is that make the culture open. That makes this will make the tourists, the people who want to see new things will lose interest in the other countries. Our moderator, this culture becomes a long-term benefit. Our moderator, if you look at the thing is that they talked about the women are not being able to participate in culture, in the social society and whatnot. Our moderator, culture, what they're talking about is that opening the culture means that the women, they were losing the women will not even get, the women who are in the rural areas, they will not even get the chance to participate in the economy. Because if you look at the thing is that now, as a backward country, culturally backward country such as India, the women who are there, they are actually creating the traditional arts. And if you open the culture, then the traditional art will die off, because they will not be able to preserve that culture. Our moderator, if you look at the thing is that this culturally uniqueness, they will lose the culture uniqueness. Our moderator, the thing is that such as if you look at India and if you look at China, even that the thing is that they're not culturally actually open, they're culturally backward, and that's why and sometimes this means that they are not actually this means that the culture and the economy is quite different, and this culturally backwardness is a great source, a great backup for any great backup of the economy. Our moderator, if you look at the thing is that like Saudi Arabia, they're exporting goods because they're exporting dates mainly because their culture does so, and if they open their culture, and this exportation of dates would not be possible. On a moderator, I have few questions for our dearest opponent team, and they need to come up and show that how the economy and the culture is correlated, and how this opening culture openness means that economic growth. On a moderator, because culturally backward country in our current world have also boomed, and they did not die yet. On a moderator, I would like to end my speech here. Thank you very much.
The second speaker from Presidency International School. Now I would like to call upon the team leader, Amira Nasir, who will speak for the motion, and she will represent CDA Public School and College.
On October 9, 2012, a 14-year-old girl named Malala Yousafzai was shot and wounded by the Taliban because she wanted to be educated and help her family and country economically. This is the condition of a brave and talented girl like Malala for the backward culture of Pakistan. Thank you, Honorable Moderator, for giving me the floor to speak. Today, the assigned topic of our speech is cultural backwardness hinders the progress of economy. For some actual and factual reasons, we are strongly in favor for this topic. Opposition team, please again listen the topic carefully. The topic wants to know, is there a problem in economic problems due to cultural backwardness? So stop talking about other issues and please explain clearly and logically based on facts and reality whether cultural backwardness hinders economic progress or not. And opposition team said that those are social problems. Yes, those are social problems which are happening for cultural backwardness. So, Honorable Moderator, we have some strong standpoints against the opposition team. Our first speaker and second speaker has already cleared and mentioned them. Our first speaker and second speaker have said before, and I repeat it again, that our culture controls our rules, our minds, and our behavior. That's why our lifestyle and our goals will totally depends on our culture. Honorable Moderator, education is a backbone of a nation. If you want to progress economically, then you have to ensure the whole population to be educated. Let's take a look on Nigeria, Guinea, and Burkina Faso. The society of those countries do not support education. Their culture is against education. This is why they don't send their children to school. They send their little children to work. Can you imagine how dangerous it is for a child? Sadly, I have to say that if we take a look on the list of the poorest country in the world, we can see Nigeria, Guinea, and Burkina Faso at the top because of their cultural backwardness. Honorable Moderator, technological progress holds the key to economic growth, transforming traditional process into digital workflows, enabling business to streamline operations. It helps to build communication among cities and countries. Technology also helps in import and export, but some countries show reluctance to use the technology despite the economic capability. It looks like, take a look on North Korea. We can see that they have enough ability to be advanced in technologically, but they do not allow technology or Wi-Fi because of their unacceptable and weird culture, because those backwarded culture wants to keep their own people isolated. North Korea has a massive area and population, but because of their cultural backwardness, they cannot progress economically easily. Honorable Moderator, let's take a look on Afghanistan. Afghanistan has banned girls over the age of 10 attending school in some provinces of countries. Their culture believes that education is necessary or neither necessary nor appropriate for a woman. So not only in Afghanistan but also in Mozambique, Somalia, and many other countries, the culture believes that women shouldn't be educated or qualified. That means a massive amount of people of those countries cannot contribute economically. Honorable Moderator, Stephen Hawking is one of the greatest human beings in history who benefited the world. He was disabled, but he was no less than any other healthy person. So his discovery made the detailed study of black hole possible. Now, opposition team, please answer me. Then why the world 1.3 billion people with disabilities are not like Stephen Hawking? Because being disabled is a sin for country like Kenya and Africa. Kenya and Africa see disabled people as useless and symbol of misfortune. That's why some other backwarded culture keeps disabled people also away from economic sector. Also, Honorable Moderator, child marriage is legal in Ethiopian culture. Some valuable lands in Romania are abandoned for their superstitious culture. They could use those land for agriculture and industry, but they don't cause their cultural backwardness. Honorable Moderator, Swat Valley is known as the Switzerland of Pakistan for its beauty, but it's perfect place for economically growth by tourists. But no tourists are allowed here because they are Pakistani fundamentalism and culture. Sudan, Afghanistan, and Burundi don't even communicate with other countries for trade and business. They don't let any giant e-commerce such as Amazon, Walmart business progress economy because it's against their culture. Honorable Moderator and opposing team, we don't want to know how cultural backwardness helps economy. We want to know it's hindering economy or not. Honorable Moderator, they're saying that marketing is important, but market is an important thing, but when the culture don't allow marketing, what you're gonna do? Honorable Moderator, they have talked about India. then you should know that India, which may lose their 13 crore of its GDP, stubble with burning and firecrackers in 5 years. This is their culture. Which is hindering the economic progress. Thank you, Honorable Moderator. Thank you, everyone.
Now I'd like to call upon Imamul Haq, who's the team leader from Presidency International School, to put up his argument.
Thank you, Honorable Moderator, for giving me the floor. Today's motion is cultural backwardness is hindering the progress of the economy, and we are today the fourth team for the motion. And now today we will try to prove that the other team against the motion, and the fourth team has tried to prove that religious fundamentalism, literacy problems, gender inequality have hindered the economic progress of a country. Now, what we want to say is that if you look at the exclusiveness, if you look at America, you can't deny that America is a multicultural country. It has allowed other cultures to come into its culture, like from Europe, from Asia. But can you deny that racism is not present in America, despite being a culturally open-minded country? So fundamentalism is not only present in culturally backward countries, but also they're present in culturally open countries. Even if you look at Europe, in Europe also people are still now tortured and bullied just because their skin color is different from local people, but they're still not a culturally backward country. So there is fundamentalism. Now, as you were talking about North Korea, if you look at North Korea, you say that North Korea is a culturally backward country. Now, North Korea is actually not a culturally backward country. The people of North Korea never want to accept the policies that have been exploited on them. That is actually a dictatorship by their ruler. That is a policy and implementations by their ruler. The people never want to adapt to their culture. That is not culture. That is rather political exploitation on the people, Honorable Moderator. Today, we want to show that these two worlds have no correlation with each other, because if you look at Pakistan, let's say for example, previously Pakistan had religious fanatism, okay, people were killed just because they did not follow religion. Now, as time is progressing, Pakistan has become a more open-minded country as to previous years. But can you deny that religious fanatism is now absent in Pakistan just because it has become an open-minded cultural country? No. So this is actually some mindset of the people that have been there for generations. Whether that can be a culturally backward country or that can be an open-minded country. Now we want to focus on preserving the cultures of a country, because that is the roots of a country. If you look at Bangladesh now, if you look at the Asian countries, their culture is being destroyed as they become an open-minded culture. And as our first speaker has already said, that we will try to prove how cultural backwardness can also help to give the progress of the economy. If you look in the Middle Ages, the concept of colonialism that has happened in the Middle Ages, when emperors wanted to conquer any land, what did they think of? They think of their resources. They think of how could they utilize those resources. When the British came here, they thought of how they can utilize our resources, or they can also use it as their own benefit. But they never thought of changing the culture of the people just to have the progress of their economy. Culture is a different thing rather than to economy. Economy is about strengthening your resources. Economy is about opening dimensions in your country with technological advancement. They have said that culturally backward countries deny the strength of marketing, but how our country, Bangladesh, is also a culturally backward country. We are not still open to Western and foreign cultures, but Bangladesh has already strengthened its market in the foreign world. Our garment sector is in different countries of the world. So we have strengthened our market locally and also in foreign nations. Our cultural backwardness is not having any hindrance. Our fundamentalism is not having any hindrance to strengthening our markets. That is not hindering the progress of the economy. If you talk about the disabled people, why are you only looking at the cultural backward country? Look at the cultures which have allowed other cultures to adapt to them. If you now look at America, if you look at Europe, yes, as you're talking about Stephen Hawking, yes, Stephen Hawking was an exception disabled people. But if you look at the majority, we are talking about the vulnerability spectrum. If you talk about the majority of the people, you can say even in culturally backward countries and even in open-minded cultural countries, people with disabilities are under circumstances where they are not comfortable. They are under torture. So there is nothing exclusive that problems of fundamentalism, problems of religious fanatism, problems of disabilities, people being tortured are only in culturally backward countries. So our team has tried to prove that cultural progress and the development economy are two different things. If you look at our world, we are trying to create a world where economy will develop by creating its own dimensions in marketing, in resources, in strengthening its foreign markets, and while cultural backwardness is just how the people are not being open-minded and not allowing other cultures. I'm trying to mention it again. They are not allowing other cultures and lifestyles of people, but they're still focusing on develop the economy by utilizing their resources and developing their manpower. Thank you, Honorable Moderator. Thank you, Honorable Judge, for giving the floor.
So far, we have been through very spirited debating session. Now appears the rebuttal round, and to take up for the motion in the rebuttal round, the first speaker, Amira Nasser, is called upon the stage.
If culture was a different thing than economy, then we don't have to debate about it today. Yes, it is now related to economy. That's why we are now debating about it. Every society, every country, every nation has its own culture. Their culture controls their each and every move. Thank you, Honorable Moderator, for giving me the opportunity to speak once again. We are not saying that cultural backwardness is the only factor hindering economic progress. We have tried to prove throughout our entire speech that cultural backwardness plays an important role in hindering economic progress. That's why other problems can be also factor in economic progress. Honorable Moderator, Japan, Germany, China used to have some strange and hideous culture, but now they have started to leave those culture behind and follow modern and appropriate culture which do not harm anyone or take away anyone's rights. That's why they are now one of the wealthiest country in the world. The culture that we have already talked about are truly vile. Those cultures have taken away human rights, away women empowerment, education, technology, which are the most essential things to grow economically. That's why culture does matter in the case of economy. Honorable Moderator, a country is built with population. When the population is following a backwarded culture, they don't want to study, they don't want education, they don't want technology. How can they will prosper economically? Honorable Moderator, they have talked about that Stephen Hawking is exceptional. Yes, he was exceptional because he wasn't under any backwarded culture, but other 1.3 billion people are under backwarded culture. That's why they can prosper economically. Honorable Moderator, in some mental health issues, people would rather choose to take advice from priests and superstitions than their medical science. That's why some people cannot contribute economically. They can help their country to grow economically. That's why we are having hindering in economy progress. Thank you, Honorable Moderator. Thank you, everyone.
Now the second speaker and the last speaker of the rebuttal round, Imamul Haq, will come up and put up his argument.
Thank you, Honorable Moderator, for giving me the floor again. So as our team has tried to prove today that cultural backwardness is actually not hindered economic progress, though our four teams have said that technology is being hindered by cultural backwardness, they have not actually shown us the mechanisms. If you want to start a technology, if you want to establish an infrastructure in your country, our team has actually not understand how culture can affect it. As I've already said, if you think about Bangladesh is still a culturally backward country. We have not allowed Western ideas to come in our country. But now the development projects that have been going here in the metro rail, in the Podda Bridge, can you actually see how culture, the beliefs of the people, how we live, what we wear, how is that affecting the technological advancement of Bangladesh? We actually have not understood the correlation properly. Now, as we have tried to prove throughout this whole debate, that the policies they're talking about in culturally backward countries are also present in open-minded countries. As they're saying against Stephen Hawking was the exception, 1.3 billion people are are discriminated in the society. But we have shown that it is not only present in the culturally backward countries, but also in the culturally open countries, like the fundamentalism of racism. Racism is actually, we have seen that it is present in America, and America is a multicultural country. Now, we have also tried to prove that culture can actually rather be a backup for the economy. Like we have said, how culture can be an attraction to tourists, how people can use their own cultural products for import and export, as we and also establish a new dimension with importing and exporting cultural goods. How can that happen? If we save our own culture, if we stick to the culture we have been there, if we stick to our roots rather than adapting to our own cultures. And as with the development of the economy, we are talking about capital, we are talking about investments, we are talking about strengthening our markets, while we are constantly saying that culture is the lifestyle of a people, what they eat, what they wear, and how they think. Yes, if you actually talk about the mentality of the people, they have fundamentalism which is present in both cultural open and culturally backward countries. Thank you, Honorable Moderator, for giving me the floor to speak.
Thank you very much, Imamul Haq. Once again, it's a pleasure to hear all of you, and you had actually a wonderful session. I congratulate both the teams that you have taken up a kind of topic which is, in a way, very challenging for both of you, because there are many important words, especially the cultural backgrounds, progress, and economic progress. So these two things are really sometimes very difficult, especially the cultural background. If you try to define what's the cultural backwardness, especially, that is going to be pretty much a challenging factor, because from different perspective, you might call this one is a cultural backwardness, but from another point of view, you might tell that it's not a cultural backwardness. But if we apply our general understanding to the cultural backwardness, we can see in the deep down there is a relationship, because sometimes if the cultural backwardness interferes, I speak again, interferes. So the very important word that most of the debaters, I think not many of you did miss, but one or two of you did mention, that you talked about the hindrance. But I'm talking about the hindrance, yes, it's a synonym, interference. So if the cultural backwardness interferes the economic progress of a particular country, then it's going to really take a toll upon the entire system. So it is very important, and it's a very crucial topic. Ashmi, you talked about China and India to be not culturally very rich. But let me remind you the fact that China, India, and even Bangladesh, look at the history and culture, we had a very strong, a very rich history and culture, and we do have the cultural diversity. But you can say, yes, from your team there was another who told that probably they are not allowing others to interfere into the culture. So there are some culture which is open-ended. They would allow others to get integrated, and there are other cultures who would not. For example, for hundreds and thousands, many of you did talk about China. Yes, that's true. For quite some time, China happened to be a country which would not allow others to interfere. But the moment they understood the spirit of globalization, friendship, cooperation, their economy started to thrive. Yes, it is very important. So you can be culturally diverse, you can be culturally rich. At the same time, you need to have the sense of inclusivity. You need to allow other culture to integrate and to infuse into your cultural system. And if there's a rich cultural diversity, that is really helpful for the economy in one way. So culture is in a way an identity. And your identity is wonderfully expressed just because you can show the world that with my cultural identity, I can really show up the world what I am today. So look at the Football World Cup inauguration ceremony. Did you see it held in Qatar this year? So brought up the entire team. in the World Cup that took place in Africa. Give me freedom, give me fire. You see that, and there was a great dance, an African dance. She took up their culture. In Qatar World Cup, they took up their culture. So bringing the culture at the forefront, it's a wonderful demonstration of your own cultural identity. But if some cultural backwardness, for example, if you bar the education for the woman, somebody spoke about Malala. That's a fantastic point, because yes, if you do not allow the 50% of your population into the academy, what you are doing, you are really taking a great toll to the economy as well. Because those girls will one day contribute to the growth of the economy. So there are a lot of debaters, one or two debaters talked about the superstition. Yes, superstition is a factor. If you can really invest on your superstition to pull down your economy, that's going to really take a toll on. So thank you very much. I'm very happy that I've seen you performing, and I've seen you flaming up with your own arguments, and that's really the matter that we did enjoy a lot. Thank you once again. We have got the result in our hand, and the winner of today is CDA Public School and College Chattogram, and the best speaker is Amira Nasser. Once again, I congratulate everybody and the judges who have been patiently hearing you arguing. And thank you very much once again for calling me up.